You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's The Challenge After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's The Challenge After Show.
Hey, everyone, welcome to The Challenge Free Agents, the season finale. No, I'm not DJ Jesse Janity, although we miss him very much, especially for missing this finale.
Seriously.
What the fuck, Jesse? But I am Roxy Striar, and I am here to talk about the amazing, amazing finale tonight, A Walk in the Clouds. Okay, I have a couple things to say. Number one, I'm with my amazing co-host, Nicolette Gaona, of course.
Yes, I'm stepping in for Jesse, you know what I'm saying? So, not really, but I've been gone, but I'm back. Hey, bitches.
And we're glad to have you. But I'm sorry to say, a little more importantly right now is that next to you, everybody's sitting here thinking, who is that? Who could you guys have as a guest on the show that we don't recognize? It's the frickin' Steamer in the studio.
Hey,
Every week when the Steamer calls in and everybody's like, what does the Steamer look like? And then one time we post the picture of the Steamer like going like this and nobody could see his face. Well, now here he is. He's finally revealed himself. We have him in. Mark, Jesse, you're missing the big reveal, man. You're missing it. Well, we're so happy to have you, and thank you so much for coming in.
Yes, so
glad to be here.
Guys, overall thoughts on tonight's episode. What are we thinking?
It was amazing.
How do you think it stacked up well with other finales?
Totally, just because there was rookies, there was, Devin, there was all these shock values, I feel.
What do you think, Steamer?
I thought it was all right. I mean, it's not the best one they've had.
Okay.
Mine was so yes, and he's like, it was all right.
We have Phil in the booth laughing right now because it's so classic Steamer that I'm just curious at what point.
Here's the thing. I asked Nicolette, was it a good episode? And she said it was amazing. And I said, will Steamer think the same? And she was like, I think he will. And I was like, he won't.
Okay.
Good job, Phil.
So here's what I'm wondering a little bit. What would have had to happen for you, Steamer, to make this the holy shit, this is the grail of all, oh my God.
The first thing is what I disliked about last week's episode was the fact that they made him do the first 3 stages with partners. Just let them go all out by themselves.
Because it's called Free Agents.
Yeah, just let them do individuals. No, it should have come down to who gets Devin at the wrong time. Because Devin is by far the worst one there. She shouldn't even be there, but that's another story.
At least they swapped out who was partners, though, and they didn't keep the same one. And honestly, with these end results, do you think if they had done free agents for all of the rounds, for all 5 rounds, that the results would have been any different?
Probably not. You're right on that, since we saw what happened to Zach. And no matter what partner you gave Zach, he still would have been screwed at the end.
I just, am baffled by him. Yeah. I mean, I don't really like, because I'm not there, I don't really like to use the word pathetic, but that was kind of pathetic.
Yeah. I mean, none of us expected him to do that. I mean, he was just a big baby. I mean, we've seen him throw his fits throughout the season, but I mean, this was seriously a kid that is having the worst time at a freaking theme park or something those kids who are just what is it called?
Tantrums?
Tantrums. He was throwing a tantrum.
Yeah, and Devin, who
when he was kicking the tree, he was like,
absolutely. And Devin, who was having a really hard time, this was a big struggle for her. She wasn't bitching about it. She just was getting through it, because what takes more energy than complaining the whole time? He literally, okay, we're going to start with obviously the first part of this with the whitewater rafting, but I just wanted to get your guys' overall thoughts. I'm just thinking to myself, after we watched him complete a different challenge, and then we see the flashbacks tonight where he's screaming at Sam and he's saying, I'm going to kill you, whatever he's saying. How could you go on and be so bad?
Yeah.
Right? Is there any playing devil's advocate here?
I mean, yeah. And the thing is okay, I'm going to Laurel. Laurel is she's just very blah. Like, she's just a bitch, okay? I'm just gonna say she's a bitch. Like, she's just like, I don't care about anybody else but myself. And, like, it's just so funny that I won. Like, she sounded really excited, but it's like, bitch, okay.
Right.
You knew. You're just trying to put on a little front. So the whole time that she was, like, being an asshole to Zach, you know, it's kind of like her pride. Like, damn, like, I really wish I wasn't with this partner. Instead of being like, okay, you know what? He is my partner for this one challenge. It's not going to matter now because we're stuck in this together. So let's work on this together. You know what I'm saying? I get why she was irritated and stuff like that. But
we'll definitely get there. We'll get to when the two of them were paired up. But I'm just talking overall thoughts on each of these players. So we we think Zach underperformed. We think that Devin, like, good for her, man.
Yeah,
that
she did that.
That she completed it. Other thoughts,
her weave and all, she did it.
Well, she had to lose Tamara along the way, though.
Yeah,
she had the funeral, but luckily she brought 4 on, so we're all good. Any other thoughts overall? Were you surprised by anybody? I thought that Johnny, not Johnny Bananas, but the other Johnny, did a really stellar job for being a rookie.
Definitely.
And really held his own.
And I just loved his whole story. You know what I mean? Just the way he was like, you know, I really feel like I deserve this. Like, you know, I just have a special heart for that.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a rookie and I'm killing it. And again, he was always a supportive partner. He really, like, kind of smiled the whole way through it. I was like, damn, don't you feel pain? He's just like kind of chucking. He's like, okay, everybody got this. All right, so let's get right into it, though. So we start with the whitewater rafting, which we saw a little bit of last week. The way that we end it is that Devin and Zach, they tipped the boat. Rock the boat, don't rock the boat, baby. So
they rocked it over.
Yeah, and we're scared for Zach's life at this point. He's screaming. He's like, I'm dying, I'm dying. Note that this will not be the first and only time that he says this during the episode. Yes, first, but not only. I mean, like, you're not dying. Chill out, man.
I mean, I would have been scared shitless in that water.
Oh, of course. In the water, it was a little more understandable. But
the water's understandable.
Devin was we talked to Devin last week, and she said that they tell you, the first thing they tell you is, like, people die here. And if you fall out of the boat, you got to hold on to a rock because you think you're fine, just poking along, and then all of a sudden it will take you under. Like, you'll
have
feel
you
your
seen
feet
those
drag.
movies? Honey.
It's scary. So
that's real shit.
Absolutely. But Steamer's dying with you. What, you just can't with her in person? It's amazing. So finally,
be here live to see it.
Right? Oh my God! Looking across the table and seeing you, I just like it. I'll never get used to it. We got to move you out here. You got to be here for good.
Seriously.
Okay, so we see this. They're whitewater rafting. Obviously, the rescue boats, they come and get them. They're fine. Yes, they end up coming in 3rd place. Bananas and Laurel do really well. They come in first. And in the middle of the pack are Johnny and Nani. Johnny was really impressed by Nani, and I was impressed by Nani too. Were there any surprises here?
That's the one thing I don't think we mentioned about Nani. Like, she is one person, and you even agreed, right? I think you actually agreed with me on this. On Nani being actually really not giving up and, like, being a good competitor.
For the most part. She had that one moment, but for the most part.
Yeah, you can't really blame somebody for having their one moment. It's more when Zach, like, the entire thing is a moment that it's like, what the hell? But I thought that Nani was way more athletic than I gave her credit for, especially when we hear that her workout regimen consists of drinking and laying on the couch.
Drinking beer.
Yeah.
I feel her.
So I guess
my workout.
I know, seriously.
But it's wine instead of beer.
And also you dance and you're active, so.
I know. I try.
No, you got it. Okay, so we had those with the boats. Laurel and Johnny, they came in at 40. Nani and Johnny came in at 44.53, and Zach and Devin came in at 58.21. Then we went to the 10K run.
How did you feel about the water rafting? Did you have any, like, comments on it, really?
I thought Bananas was tremendous.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All throughout this episode, I thought he did very well, and he got partnered with Laurel first, so obviously that's an advantage. But he set a good tone. He set a good tone, and
being with Laurel is an advantage, but being with her first could be a disadvantage because it's kind of all downhill from there, you know. But I think he got matched with the best people at the best stages for sure.
He definitely did.
And he was great. So we move on to the 10K run with the puzzle.
Wait, can we talk about, though, everybody's like, oh, yeah, this was just an amazing experience. Like, you know, Johnny and Laura, like, yeah, man. Like, Laura's this was like, everything. Yeah. And then, you know, Nani and Johnny, like, that was so much fun. And then here comes Zach and Devin. They're like, fuck this shit. Like,
they literally looked like they had just walked out of, like, I'm sorry, I'm going to get so much heat for this, but, like, the Holocaust Museum. They were, like, oh my God, like we just went through the most traumatic experience. Like I'm never gonna relive this. Like
seriously,
like as if they just saw something that they could never get over.
Right.
And yeah, I get it. It was a really hard, I'm sure.
And they were in a kayak. I mean, they at least could have given him a big boat or something like that. There's no time.
And it wouldn't be the challenge.
I mean, I guess.
But they walked out very disheveled, and distraught. Okay.
So now, yeah.
Okay. I'm good. I'm glad that I have your permission to go to the 10K for sure. We got the 10K run with the puzzle. I love you. All right. What do we think about this? They had to put these cities in order from north to south. Panama is in Florida. Okay. So anyway, they do this. Some of them realize that it's out of a tree and they've got to match together. Some of them just start going. Were we shocked by any of this, or was it just kind of like, all right, they did the 10K, now we got the puzzle, whatever it is?
I just felt like the puzzle was just so dumb.
Yeah.
Like
I like to be included in the puzzles, and this wasn't something I felt like I could do.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it was just very like kind of scattered all over the place. What do you think?
They do that from time to time in the final. They have like a random puzzle involving like geography or something even stupider. And this one just didn't hit for me.
It just like I preferred the puzzles where we saw bananas and CT. You know, when there's those 3 stages of puzzle or something, or even if it was a trivia or something. I don't even know what it could have been. That would have been a little more interactive. But I was watching this and I was like, okay.
Yeah, like, and I mean, you could even tell that they were just like, whatever. Like Nani and Zach, they were just like, well, I guess we're not gonna get it. Like,
yep. But Laurel's team comes in first again. She's with Johnny. They're at 123. Nani and Zach come in second at 130. And Johnny Bananas and Devin come in third at 134. Sure. Great. Fine second leg. We're on. We move on to the trail hike. So this is the last of the 3 partners that we're working with. After this, you know you're going your separate way. You know you get to do your individual stuff. This is the last time you have to do it for someone else, with someone else. And we were talking to Devin last week, and she was saying, you know, I'm really going to push myself. I don't know if I'm going to make it to the end of the final, but I know I'm going to at least make it for the first 3 rounds, because it's rude to mess up your partner's game that much just to quit. And everybody, luckily, did do that. Some better than others, though, I suppose you could say. Let's leave Laurel and Zach for the last team to talk about. Nani and Bananas, they truck up this thing.
Right.
Like, Bananas looks at Nani and is like, you're badass, girl. I was shocked. How does somebody who sleeps and drinks and lays, this is physical work. How do you do this?
I mean, shit, don't ask me. I don't know.
It makes you wonder what she could do if she actually put in some effort to train.
Oh, yeah.
She could be one of the top competitors.
She could really come back for Laurel.
I don't think she really gives a shit, though. Like, but you know what was weird? We were also talking to Cara Maria the other day, and she was like, Laurel honestly does not train. She was like, Laurel is just an athlete. Yeah.
I mean, my thing is Nani was tripping off the bike thing that they had to do. You know what I mean? And like she wanted to give up on that, but then here she comes climbing up a damn mountain. I'm like, girl.
See that tarantula. She was kind of.
I feel her. Did you see that thing?
That
thing was so big.
She stood there for like 30. I would have been like,
keep on moving.
Tarantula, I'm out of here. And she was like, it was so motivational. I was like, after you watched it for 2 minutes.
Oh hell no.
I thought Johnny was gonna
watch that shit. Make sure it ain't coming near me.
I honestly thought Johnny was gonna push her off this cliff at this point. Seriously. He was like, what? Nani, what? Like, what do you want right now?
Because at that point, they had caught up to Zach and Laurel.
Yeah.
So they just want to keep on going.
That must be so motivational to be able to see them. You know, we spread this out by 15 minutes. So no team ever, realistically or theoretically, actually, no team should be able to catch up to another team.
Yeah.
But they did, and they were able to catch up and pass them. Were you kind of surprised that Zach let them pass like that?
No, not the way he was acting.
No, he had to. He didn't really have another choice. Okay, but again, saving Laurel and Zach because we have a lot. Yeah, we have a lot of tea to talk about them. But let's go to Johnny and Devin. Devin makes it about 100 yards before she's like, can't do this. And Johnny handles Devin so well. I think that he's so motivational towards her. He's so sweet. He just like really smiled and nodded through this entire thing. I think that this is the best kind of partner that Devin can have.
Yeah.
Somebody who's just like quietly and kindly pushing, like not even pushing her, just like
and the fact
nudging.
that Devin wasn't like, you know, it being so expressive of how she hated that part of the challenge.
Right, but I wonder if it had been Devin paired with Zach at this part of the challenge.
I think they both might have gave up.
You think so?
Yeah.
Or they just would have gone at a slow enough pace that maybe it was okay, or I don't know.
I don't know. That would have been a really messy combo.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been slow as hell.
I mean, because Devin would have been like, I feel you. She'd be like, I feel you. Do you want to rest? Okay.
You know, like, she'd be like, are you down? I'm down. Now, let's do this. My wig's out. Okay. So we do have Zach and Laurel, and we have to talk about them. And I mean, I honestly, I almost don't want to because it's so embarrassing for him. Like this show, this specific leg of the race was so freaking embarrassing that I don't even know. What was his rationale? He kept saying like, I have so much weight on all these guys, so it's harder to breathe because the air affects my weight more. And like, can anybody tell me anything that would stick up for him a little bit?
Maybe it's his protein drinks he's drinking or something.
That's a lot of weight to carry up that steep hill, but at the same time, he's been training. You would think he's in shape, and
he did it on the last challenge, something very similar. Yeah. So why could he do it then and not now? Do you think that really like his body just cramped out on him and he just couldn't do it?
Must be. I don't know if there's something with the altitude or wherever they were. Yeah. I don't know. But
I mean, have I ever been up that high on a mountain?
No, I'm sure it'd be hard to breathe. It'd be different, but I don't think it's any harder because you're bigger.
I wouldn't think so, but
I mean, apparently.
I also have this problem with Zach. So all season I've been saying, you know what? Honestly, I like him a lot better now than I liked him on The Real World. I hated him on The Real World. I didn't really like him on the last and this challenge. I'm like, I actually am starting to like him. I think that
Zach.
Yeah, I was starting to like him a little more. At least I was thinking he was a better competitor. He seemed to be nicer to people, getting along with people. In this episode, I kind of felt like he was a womanizing piece of shit again. Like looking at Laurel and he's like, "Shut up, bitch!" Like. What did she do to you? She's literally the fiercest competitor in the house. She's trying to get up this hill. You're supposed to be badass. In your first direct-to-camera, you're like, I hope she can keep up. Like, let's hope she can get #1 again. Zach, let's hope you can breathe and just tiptoe up this place.
Okay.
Like, nothing, guys? No.
I mean, I said my piece with that earlier. That he was having a temper.
Yeah.
I'm just glad they showed
whatever that. What is it? A temper?
Tantrum.
Yeah, tantrum. That thing.
I'm just glad they showed her. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm just glad they showed like the whole thing with Sam on his last challenge.
Yeah.
Since he was much more fierce to Sam than Laurel was to him. And
Absolutely.
for him to criticize Laurel for going after him, I mean, it's pretty hypocritical.
I thought for a good hour, and honestly, I haven't been the biggest Laurel fan this season. I think that she is, as Nicolette said, to put it nicely, a bitch. And
it's very arrogant.
Yeah, but
it's like, we get it, girl. Like,
I do think that she deserved to win this challenge. So my personal feelings aside about her character or her personality, whatever, she's a strong competitor, and I do think she deserved to win. But I actually really liked her in tonight's episode. I think she had a lot of fun on the rafting. I think that she was a good sport about it, and I even thought that she was being helpful to Zach. She's like, "You got this, man. I'll carry you. You got this." She wasn't saying like, "Dude," she wasn't screaming. And yes, of course, she was looking out for her own time. She looked at him at some point, probably after an hour or however 2 hours, and was like, dude, you can't quit because then I lose. Like, yes, of course, at the end of the day, she's got to think about herself at some point. And he's like, all she's thinking about is herself. Yeah, because she wants the money.
That's $90,000.
Yeah, like, what are you...
What would have happened if he quit? Would they have just gotten extra time or something like that?
I think that production, like, wouldn't have let him quit. They would have been like, fine, you get yourself back down and you get yourself, like... I don't know what
I mean, they didn't let anybody quit on the bike challenge.
I mean, I think they would have, but anyway, long story short about this leg of the race, Zach, you blew it, man. Whatever. So we see him first. It's Nani and Bananas. They come in at 2:19. Then we've got Laurel and Zach, and they come in at 2:39, and Johnny and Devin, who come in at 2:52. And we move on to the individuals, where we have the bike, which we're just talking about now. All right. So if anybody, spinning's this whole new thing. Everybody goes spinning now. They go to Soul Cycle. They go to Equinox. They spin, whatever. It's this whole stationary bikes and spinning. Everyone, it's this thing. So if you've actually been to a spinning class, you know that there's these knobs on the thing that pump up the intensity and make it so that you're not just like free spinning. It's actually something stopping you. You're pushing against something as if you're going up the hill. That's what this looked like to me. It looked like the knobs were twisted all the way up and they were biking through and thigh burning, not just like spinning, because 25 miles, and I could be dead wrong about this, so I hope you guys correct me. 25 miles on a bike doesn't seem that far to me.
That's what I thought too.
If the intensity wasn't pushed up. I mean, after a long day like this, of course, but there must have been something else. There must have been extra force coming back at
Probably
them.
that and it being cold.
Right, absolutely. It being late.
Just being done with everything.
Of course. But I don't know. I would have rather see them bike somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah,
like I could watch people go spinning.
I mean, I thought,
gym.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I thought they were gonna do. Like,
Yeah.
I thought I was like, okay, ready, set, go, and then the bikes didn't move, and I was like, so what's the situation here? Like,
we're just
watch
these idiots spin.
Yeah,
right.
It was stationary bikes, and watching this, other than the fact that it was the first and only time really we got to see them all interact together.
Yeah,
it was kind of like, why right now when we're in this beautiful place and we have all this landscape,
right?
And we have jumped from country to country. Why are we sitting in the dark on these stationary bikes watching this for hours? I don't understand. Like, we've got volcanoes, we've got mountains, we've got the hills, we've got all this stuff.
And spin bikes.
And you put us in literally what I could walk down the street and go to Gold's Gym and see somebody doing.
I guess I'd rather have done that and got some good rest. Because remember last season, they made like one person stay up.
Yeah.
And then, like, so they, like, lost sleep.
Yeah, because of the timing, you mean? You would rather, be able to bike and then sleep?
Yeah.
I think everybody would rather be able to sleep, but, like, I don't know. This just didn't... It probably was really challenging. They all were saying something about it, so I'm sure it was, but visually, it was...
It looked really
so whatever,
silly.
you know?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so what happened while we were on the bikes, though? Nani freaked the F out. She was like... I quit. This is absurd. That's the other thing I don't get that they kept saying. She was like, this is unfair or something. Like, what?
Maybe because she had to do it like right after they had doing everything else. She was just tired.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but like,
else had to do it.
You're very much.
She was having a bitch fit.
Yeah, she totally was, and that's fine. I probably would have done the same thing.
I would have done the same thing. You're gonna make me fucking ride on this bike that's not even riding.
Yeah,
okay.
But
like,
I would have said this sucks dick, but I wouldn't have said this isn't like right. You're all in the same boat. So I would have been, yes, I can't say that I wouldn't bitch. I would bitch a lot. I'd be like, I hate this. I hate my life. I can't do it, whatever.
Oh my God,
but I wouldn't be like, screw production. I'm not getting back on this bike. Like, what? She's like, my feet are cold. This is your fault.
Maybe she wanted a cigarette.
Yeah, totally. I was surprised she didn't just take it out and start smoking on the bike. I'm actually surprised she was able to get through this whole thing without us seeing her smoke a cigarette. How are her lungs okay like this? Damn, girl. Like you're saying, I can only imagine what she would be capable of if she wasn't a smoker, if she did exercise. Yeah. Because this is, after knowing all that, this is very impressive that she finished this and alive.
And got so close as she did.
Yeah.
I guess some people really can work hard, play hard. Mm-hmm. I felt like that was funnier in my head, but when I said it out loud, it wasn't funny at all.
Work hard, play hard. I mean, don't play.
Yeah.
I'd be working hard and playing harder.
Okay, what else happened on the bikes? Pretty much nothing except for we see that Devin like digs into herself and really is able to push through. We see that Bananas finishes in 61.
Yeah, he did that.
He finished so much before everyone else. Mm-hmm. Is that just the fact that he's such a vet that he has the stamina, or like
I don't know
stamina?
I mean, he was just like, let me get the fuck up off this bike.
Yeah, he
just did that.
But Johnny was looking at him and was like, I'm going as fast as him, not faster. But Johnny, you weren't quite, because you finished 22 minutes after him at 1:23.
Very impressive by Bananas.
Yeah,
once again.
Absolutely. That's like the kind of thing you watch and you're like, wow, this must have to do with the fact that you've done so many of these.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, this is his, what, 6th or 7th final. So.
Yeah, it's insane. So again, Johnny at 123. Then we see Zach at 131. Laurel comes in at 132. Nani at 150, and Devin at a whopping 243. At that point, girl. I was asking you guys, do you think they tell you how far along you are? Because each one of them seemed shocked when they finished. Like they heard a little like bing, a bell ring, and they were like, horn. I feel like these kids had no idea how far they had gone.
I'm sure they didn't.
I think that there was like no dial, no.
Right.
Just keep biking.
Yeah, just keep biking until I give you the ding.
Yeah.
Because like their faces when they heard it was like as if they thought that it might not be coming for another year and a half.
Yeah.
That's what I think, but I guess we'll never know. Well, actually, I correct that. We're friends with a lot of these people. I bet we'll know in the next hour when we call one of them and ask.
Yeah.
We'll let you guys know if we find out. Okay, so we get to the last leg of our race. We sleep for the night. We go to bed. We wake up. It's 5:30. TJ comes in. He's like, all right, guys, it's day 2. Now, I was kind of surprised that day 2 only, and we knew there was only going to be this amount of legs, but day 2 was only really one thing. Yes, it was the climb. We see that a lot.
I mean, shit.
Yeah.
It's a volcano, girl.
I know.
A volcano.
Well, I guess I say that because we only
What
saw...
if it erupted? They'd all been screwed.
Yeah, apparently they told us last week, or a couple weeks ago, Banana said that it erupted the year before, or somebody died on it the year before or something.
I ain't got no time.
I know.
But it could have at least been one that was dead already or already erupted.
Yeah.
Or would there not be a volcano? I don't know. That's interesting. Like, if that one was to erupt, let's think of some science.
Yeah, but when they erupt, they don't go away.
Yeah, it's still there.
They just, like, erupt, and then the lava goes, and then it goes back to being dormant, and then 20 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Again.
Exactly. So we have this one, though, and the reason I was saying that is because, yeah, we saw that one puzzle, but I felt like we didn't see any swimming, really. Yeah, we had the boats, but we didn't see the swimming. We didn't see many more puzzles. There was no trivia kind of thing. There was no eating part of it. Like, there was just I was surprised.
This is a lot of endurance.
A lot of endurance, a lot of similar things, you know? No, like, trucking through the freezing cold water and coming back out. What did you guys think about missing a lot of that stuff? The eating, more puzzles, trivia, swimming.
I prefer the endurance. I'm happy they did it.
Cool.
But at the same time...
Steamer's happy. Did you hear that? Mark that. We're 26 minutes in and Steamer is happy. Everybody write it down.
It happens from time to time. The one thing, obviously, is if we could have replaced something, maybe with swimming instead of the stationary bikes. But for the most part, I was pretty happy with it.
Okay. Cool. What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, it just kept it going and going and going. You know what I mean? There wasn't many times where it would have to stop for, like, another challenge. I liked it because I think it definitely pushed them more, you know?
Yeah. I'm just such a sucker for the eating ones.
I know,
which
you just
we really
didn't see.
It's disgusting. I know it's absolutely disgusting, but we really didn't see much of it. And I just think it's like so bad when we watch them have to go through all of these like horrible things, and it just adds such a different element because then they're sick and I'm sick and twisted for even saying that. Never mind.
You
I
really
take it
want
back.
them to eat like a cow ball, bitch.
Yeah.
Like
at some point during the season, man. There was none of that. Yeah, there was none of the eating
Well,
stuff.
I'm sure they were very happy.
I'm positive they were. They're sitting here watching this right now thinking like, Roxy, you motherfucker.
Right. Why don't you eat a cow ball?
Exactly.
And then let me know how you
Next
feel.
time it's going to be 2 eating challenges.
Yeah.
Because I said that. That's why. Okay, so yes, we're here. We're at the volcano. And at this point, you just have nothing left to give. And you have to dig inside yourself and go for the hike of a life. I mean, how you motivate yourself to get up this hill, that's like the nicest word I ever said. Volcano is beyond
hill, bitch. Correction, a volcano.
I know.
Okay,
not even
the biggest
straight volcano.
Fucking mountain of life.
It's beyond me, and I was shocked that Johnny came in first. Like, where did he come from?
Mountain man, honey.
I know. I mean. Was anybody seeing, if we were talking day 1 of the challenge, would you guys have been like, you know who's going to be in the finale?
Yeah. No.
Johnny. And he's going to come in, not that he came in first overall, but he's going to get up that mountain first.
No.
I had him ranked like 11 out of the 14 that were there.
I know.
That's how little I thought of him.
Yeah.
And he damn well impressed me this season. I'm
like very surprised. I don't even know. I want to figure out what his regiment is. Is he just somebody who, I can't call it lucky because getting up a volcano isn't lucky, but I'm telling, like, he didn't bitch, he didn't cry, he didn't.
You know why? I think it's because his mind state was so on point. Like, where his mind was and where his thought process was, it did not never go negative. You know what I'm saying? So it just kept positive the whole entire time. I really feel like it was just his mind state.
Yeah, and even when he was paired with people, whatever, it didn't matter. He was just like, all right,
He was like, I'm in the final, and I'm going to stay in the final, and I'm going to do my best.
Yeah, and he did an amazing job. And that's the only question. I do wonder if it had been all individual, all 5 parts, maybe he would have beat Bananas. I'm not sure.
Probably
you don't think
not,
so?
But he definitely would have beaten Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which he did anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we see, just for this volcano part, Johnny comes in at 2 hours and 4. Bananas comes in at 2 hours 36. Laurel comes in at 3:10, which is Nani right behind her.
They were really close.
I was surprised with that too, that Nani was right on Laurel's ass the entire time. I mean, talk about like this. Laurel is supposed to be one of the best athletes or women athletes in challenge history. You know, people say Laurel and Emily and all, all these things. Nani's not ranked in the top however many.
Yeah.
Nobody ever thinks of her as an athlete. You think of her as a smoker, a partier, drama. She hooks up with a lot of guys. She was neck and neck with Laurel.
She was not playing.
Yeah. Like, that was unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
And especially after she almost quit on the spin bikes.
Yeah.
And for her to finish that and then do so well and climbing the volcano. Again, you have to wonder, what could she do if she just actually trained?
Right, absolutely. And even though she did come in first place in hiking that time that Zach pooped out on Laurel, she came in second place for the other 2 things, so Laurel beat her there. And I wonder if somehow Nani had reached inside herself for the bike and had been able to beat Laurel on the bike.
That and beat Laurel on the mountain, on the volcano.
If
then
she would have finished and would have beat her, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I want to know how many minutes was in between. We're going to have to do all the addition later and see what actually
whose
time was.
Right.
Right.
No one's trying to do that right now.
Zach then comes in at 3:37 after claiming he was absolutely going to die and like kept passing out, I'm going to die. I don't know if I can make it. I'm making
I feel him though, because honestly, that would have been me.
I know.
I would have been that person, just like, get me the fuck out of this.
I know. I'm making light of it. I'm sure this is the hardest thing that they've ever had to do.
It's just crazy seeing it from Zach, who's like this big, like, iron giant. Like,
I don't think he would have been like him though. He was so angry. I think he would have been like Devin, who was like, "Oh, get me over this." You know what I mean?
Too.
Like the way Devin did it, it didn't affect anybody else's game. She wasn't negative about it. She just was like, "I want to do this for me," you know? Zach just was like pissed off.
I'd have been a hot mess. I don't know.
And Devin wasn't a hot mess. Oh, she totally was, but she was awesome.
Yeah,
she
no,
killed
I
it.
would have been worse.
I'm really impressed that she got up there.
Oh, yeah,
And
good
she made it
girl.
up at 4:30, which honestly, it's less than an hour behind Zach.
She has that going for her.
Yeah. I mean, so we talked about the surprises. I wrote down Devin's so cute. We were sitting there and she was crying.
Oh
in
yeah,
the
I almost
camera.
got teary-eyed because
Yeah,
I was
well,
like, I feel her. Like, that's crazy.
She was talking to us the other week about, and it really is motivational. She was saying, I never, ever thought that I would be able to do something like this. Like, even any leg of this.
It's life-changing.
But why sign up? Why sign up for the show if you don't think you can do the challenge?
I
The
knew
actual
it.
final, I mean.
Yeah. I mean, maybe because she just was like, okay, it's fun, and I'm on TV, okay. And then she just was like the MVP of the whole thing.
Well, she talks about how she wants to be a TV personality, which is why she
so
says she goes
obviously,
on this.
Yeah, she wants the attention.
And why did she sign up? Because she's gone to 2 challenges. She's been on so many of these shows. She just won $15,000. Like,
Yeah.
By default.
not by default. She finished. You know, wasn't that she
Yeah,
didn't
but she
finish?
shouldn't even been in the final. That's mine.
Yeah, but
That's
she played an
crazy.
amazing social game, and you know what? She was like, no matter what we can say about the fact that I think that Teresa or Cara Maria or whatever would have.
Well, they didn't make their way.
But
Yeah.
they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't make it.
Yeah, like I could say so
Bad
many
luck.
things.
Like,
CT,
bye.
whoever, bad luck, whatever you want to call it. But Devin did make it to the
Yeah.
final. She was there.
And she was doing something right.
Yeah, exactly. You know, whether it is a social game, she says that she had this whole calculation on how to stay out of the draw by like flipping the cards. Who knows? Who knows what it is? But she frickin' made it, and she made $15,000 more than anybody else who didn't. So
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
you
props
can't-
to her.
Yeah, you can't really hate on that.
I can find a way.
Of
Sure
course you
could.
can.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, the top place teams, they make $125K, which is a lot of money considering most of the time these people are on teams and they're splitting a lot, you know?
Yeah.
You come in first, you guys are splitting the 125 check.
Yeah.
They each were making 125, which is awesome. Second place, a big jump at 35.
That's so good. I mean, that was a really big jump.
I thought it was going to be 50.
And even third place is like, damn, only 15,000. Fuck that. I'm not going to walk up no mountain for $15,000.
Yeah, but you are if you just did all that other stuff, you know.
Might as well at that point.
I'm just saying, that's so weak.
I thought it'd be 125, then 50,
and then 35.
Yeah,
like at least give me 35. Like 15.
It's because they usually split it up.
I don't like that.
Okay, so I want to hear from you guys who was not just of this challenge, but your MVP of the season. Because we are coming to a close. We're finishing this challenge. Obviously, we're going to have more, and we'll all be back here for that. Yeah. But of this season, who was your MVP?
I was rooting for Devin.
Devin? Mm-hmm. Oh, my God, Steamer.
Yes, because the challenge, MVP? like the actual final... Like, she ended up being the MVP, like, throughout the whole season. You know, I put all the episodes, you know, and, like, just, like, you know, her whole journey. I would say Devin, you know, I'm proud of her.
You're giving Steamer the squint.
Devin?
Yeah. Okay, Steamer, who's yours?
It's got to be Bananas.
Oh, really?
This is the first challenge where I thought he was actually threatened. He was thrown into elimination a few times. Yeah. He won. And then he kicked ass in the final. You gotta give him credit. This is his fifth one.
I'll give him credit. Good job, Bananas.
Now he's tops in terms of challenge wins.
That's unbelievable. And I'm gonna have to say, and it's a bummer because she didn't make it here, but mine's Cara Maria.
That's a good choice.
I thought she was so unbelievable this season, and I think that if she hadn't broken her hand, that she would have won. I think if she had come to here, then she would have won.
I still think
Laurel would have beat her?
But I think between Bananas, Cara Maria, and Laurel, the challenge was all about those three. They were the main three.
Yeah, but you know, Laurel everybody is always saying how great of a competitor she is. Bananas too. Cara Maria, like, I really feel like she's earned it over the last few years, and she's really
like
trained
that
for
underdog, like, you know, she's like that underdog team.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She proved herself this year.
And there's a lot of drama too, and I felt like she tried to stay out of it as much as she could.
Yeah.
For whatever that means. Us girls have a hard time with that. Okay, guys, any other comments on this final episode and this final season?
But I'm glad I could have been here.
I know, me too.
I'm happy that Laurel won. This is the first time she was able to get a win. She's had a bunch of second places. Granted, the competition wasn't as good as it could be for the women, but she got her first win under her belt, and hopefully next time she comes on, there'll be some more competition for her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe Nani will get in the gym and start training.
I know.
She could be up there with Emily and all of them.
Yeah. It was not that much, but she could definitely be a decent competitor.
I mean,
keeping it real over here.
For me, in terms of Laurel, it was a fiercer. I was more excited for the episode where we watched her and Cara Maria go head to head with with the elbows punching through the wall, because the two of them fighting for this finale would have been crazy. Laurel didn't really think of herself as having any competition, and Nani did give her a little run for her money, but
definitely did.
But Laurel did deserve this, so I'm glad she got her victory out of it. She looked so happy cheering on top of that mountain. I know, it was amazing. Okay, so we are done with this season. It's so sad. We will be back, of course, for the real world, and we will be back for the next challenge. Yay. And until then, because I know you guys really, really, really want to keep in touch with us and talk to us about what's going on, because we're stressed out. We really want to keep in touch with you.
Twitter, Instagram.
Where can we find you, Nicolette?
At Sensei Don't Play on my Instagram and Twitter.
Where can we find you?
At the Steamer.
Oh my God, I can't believe that you're sitting across from me. It's the luckiest day ever. And you can find us at AFTERBUZZ TV. You can find us on YouTube and iTunes. You rate, comment, and subscribe. You can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar. And I just wanted to say a shout out for the third week in a row. Maria Menounos' book, The Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness, which is amazing, being on the New York Times bestseller. It's incredible.
Congrats.
Look at her abs. This is a bitch who could win the challenge.
Okay.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my God, I can't believe we're over. Until next season.
Same time. Peace. I don't know. You know what time you're doing.
Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff. We would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.